Hey everyone out there, YouTube. So I'm back with another video. I have not been able to make a video. I've been super busy with work and life and shit. I started taking guitar lessons because I actually picked up an acoustic, so I'm really excited about that. Uh, Everything seems to be working out good though. I actually wanted to come back and talk to follow up with the part two of being Game Black. That's something that I should have done fucking what 4 weeks ago or something. And I know that they say consistency is key, but I mean, and it is. I just kind of fucked up with that. It's just been busy, man. So okay, so I was trying to figure out like how to describe this next part because it's it's kind of tricky, right? So this time I wanted to talk about what it's like dating, uh, dating while black, dating while black, right? So so yeah, I never had a lot of issues, you know, dating. So the thing is like, um, interracial dating isn't something that's as big of a deal now. I would think, as back then. Um, but I never had any issues dating either within the race or outside the race. I feel like, um, there are issues, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I never had to. Well, I guess a few times, but not often, not often enough. Um, so dating within the black community is a little tricky sometimes. Um, just because for me, I don't think it's too difficult finding someone who's black, to be with. And I'm one of those people who likes everyone. I love everyone. I don't discriminate. I would rather just, if it's someone who's awesome and catches my eye, I'm with it. But yeah, um there can be a bit of confusion sometimes. So um like dating within the black race is doesn't seem bad. It just depends on where you are. So like for me personally, where I live, it's predominantly a white area. It seriously is. If you see it, you're gonna be like, "Holy fucking shit!" There's so many fucking white people here, and it's true. And it's not bad. It's just there's a shit ton of white people here. So, and where I lived before, that was a capital metropolitan city. So it's like, a lot of black. It was about half and half when it came to black people versus the white people there. Um, and so it's like, depending on your location, you know what I mean? Depending on your location, it's a little bit, it's tricky. It can be tricky because, um, with there not being a lot of black people up here, I've maybe counted 30. Like, I'm not even shitting you. I've counted like 30 since I moved up here last year. And there just aren't a lot. And like I said, I don't mind dating. I like dating anyone who's nice. So, I like white people. I like Hispanics. I like Indian. I like Asian. I like everyone. I like everyone. So, so yeah, like if you're dating within your race, it's tricky because you have to go somewhere where there are at least, I don't know, like a handful of black people. And even then, you're not going to have like a huge selection because, not everyone here is gay. So it's kind of, so that's the big part for me is if I wanted to date someone within my race, I would have to be somewhere that's more suitable to find someone who's black, like up here, like there aren't really black people up here at all. So, I mean, it's whatever. And as far as like dating interracially, that's the part that gets tricky. So that's where I was like, oh, I don't know if people are gonna like this, but it's whatever. It's my personal experience, so I can't, you can't tell me how my experience was when it was my experience, right? So, uh, let's see, how to explain this. There is, there can be, but there is racism in the gay community. and that's just me being honest. There is racism in the gay community. Um, if you're trying to date interracially, if you don't look a certain way, if you're not within the guidelines of what it means to be like a stereotypical good-looking gay guy, and by stereotypical, just type in gay guy on or gay man or gay guy on Google, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just like, it's just stereotypical. So if you're not like within that thing, that framework, then you're not considered attractive. And that thing is, that's where it leads me like to the next point, is like, guys are visual. You know what I mean? Guys are just visual anyway. If I see a guy too, I'm gonna be like, damn, I want to fuck him. That's just how I am. That's how guys are in general. So the thing with that is, when it comes to dating outside of a race, it's easy for people who aren't your race to pick out your flaws. You know what I mean? So like, if I wanted to date, let's say I wanted to date a white guy or something, just off the, whatever. Let's say I wanted to date a white guy, and he was like, oh, you're what did I say? No fats, no femmes, no gays, no blacks, no Asians, all that shit. I mean, you get a lot of people. If you have a Grindr or any kind of like dating app, you know what I mean. You'll see that shit, because ignorant fuckers post that shit. Like, and that's just one of the examples. Like, there have been people who say, oh, I'm not into black guys. That hasn't happened a lot, but it has happened. And like, when people say that, it's just like, it's more frustrating than anything, because it's like, first of all, it's like you're not opening yourself up, and that's one of my big things that I hate when people don't do. I hate when people don't open themselves up, because it's like, why limit yourself? You know what I mean? Why would you limit yourself to just one group, like one specific group of people? You know what I mean? To me, that's just not living to me. But I don't know. And then like on top of that, it's just people saying like, oh, I'm not really into black guys, and it's also, whenever they say that, it's like, I understand a preference. A preference is different, but when you're talking about, when you make it about excluding an entire race because of a stereotype, if you haven't even been with someone, like, that's like me dating one white person and then saying, if they messed up everything, it's like, I'm never dating a white person again, because I've just based it off of that one experience. People have this thing where they let one bad experience fuck it up for the rest of their lives. And that's just something I don't do. I try not to have a bad experience justify me only dating black guys, or only dating white guys, or only dating Asians, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't let that become a thing, and a lot of people, I've just noticed a lot of gay guys tend to do that. Like, they'll have one bad experience with someone outside of their race, and then it's just like they don't ever do it ever again. You know what I mean? So that's the only tricky part about dating. If you're gonna date outside, like, if you're dating within your race, it's not bad. It just depends on your location. So for me, up here, nah, it's not good. If you're dating outside of your race, I tell you one thing, there are a lot of whites and Hispanics up here. A ton. As far as dating, I don't think it'd be too difficult up here, because there are a lot of gay people here. It's just a different place, and it also depends on the environment too. You know what I mean? Like, where I live is a huge college town with a huge like sports team, and people are very Like the gays are very much more like sports centric and like athletic oriented, which I am too. That's not that big of a deal, but it's just like for the people who aren't, it can be off putting, you know. So it's just little stuff like that. Like if you're trying to date outside of your race and people are like, oh, I don't date, you know, whatever, I don't date a particular race, and it's just like, well, it's just like, well, I just don't, you know, when you ask them why, they're just like, oh, I just don't. If that's the case, don't date that guy anyway, because they sound like a fucking asshole, and they sound very, very much insecure as a person. So, uh, that's all. I really just wanted to come and talk to you about that, because that was, I've been meaning to do this for obviously a fucking month, and I just hadn't been able to do it. So, I'm gonna upload this one, and yeah. So I may upload this one. I'll probably upload another one. I'm not too sure yet, but that's what I think for this is part 2 of being gay and black. I don't know if there's gonna be a part 3 yet. I have to think of more bullet points to go over. But as far as dating, I would say that's probably what I've experienced. I don't know what other black guys have experienced, but for me personally, that's what it's like being gay and black. Um, Finding black people, finding gay black guys who are like actually just finding them. That's like the first issue, is actually finding them, and then finding a gay black guy who's like actually into you and like meets your needs or whatever. And then there's another dating outside the race where that's just a whole nother thing where it's like, you know, telling you if you're, you know, you're too black or not black enough. You know what I mean? So, if you guys have any comments, leave them down below. I'm interested to hear what other black people have been through when trying to date interracially. It's a little much 1970s sometimes, but you know, it's no big deal. Uh, we're still here, and we probably won't be going anywhere. I don't know. We'll see what happens with these next 4 years. So, leave them comments down below, and talk to you guys later.